Hey everyone, welcome back to JDB Selects. If you haven't already, please like the video and hit the subscribe button. I just want to say thank you for such a great first season on YouTube. In less than a year we're now the leading NRL tipping channel, and I think we're only going to be even bigger in 2023. I have loads of things planned, such as including subscribers picks and bets in the weekly videos, a subscriber tipping comp where you can compete against myself and other subscribers, and so much. So thank you again for the support this season, and I hope to see you back here in March. Now let's get stuck into week 1 of the NRL finals in 2022. As always, going over last week's results, we managed to tip 7 out of 8 games. I really can't believe I sat in the rain to watch the Warriors blow a big against the Gold Coast, but you know what they say, next year is our year. We finished the 2022 season with 140 out of 192 games, with a success rate of 72%. Let me know in the comments below how you went this season. The lone Friday fixture has the first-placed Penrith Panthers hosting the fourth-placed Parramatta Eels at Bluebet Stadium, Penrith. The Panthers rested 13 players last week and essentially fielded their reserve-grade side against the North Queensland Cowboys for the final game of the regular season. As expected, the informed Cowboys dominated, winning 38 points to 8. However, the week off for a majority of Penrith's lineup will likely play a huge difference this week. The Eels finished the regular season on a 3-game winning streak that included wins over the Dogs, Broncos and finally the Storm. Although Melbourne may be struggling with injuries, the Eels looked solid and were in control of the game from the get-go, and despite letting Melbourne score 3 late tries, never really looked threatened. The Eels only won 2 of the past 6 games against Penrith at Bluebet. However, it's no secret that Parramatta are 2-0 against the Panthers this season and will no doubt have a mental advantage going into this game. The Panthers have only lost back-to-back games once since August 2019, and with Nathan Cleary coming back, as well as the addition of the 13 rested players, you have to assume the Panthers win. I think Penrith want revenge for the 2 losses this year and will show why they're front-runners for the premiership, so I'm tipping the Panthers 13+. The first elimination final takes place on Saturday as the 5th-placed Melbourne Storm take on the 8th-placed Canberra Raiders at Amy Park, Melbourne. The Storm ended their 2022 regular season by going down to the Eels and Roosters in back-to-back weeks. Melbourne have really been struggling with injuries this season, and that trend continued, losing playmaker Jerome Hughes right before kick-off. The Storm's performance was again riddled with unforced errors, and they couldn't find any success in attack until the Eels had given key players an early shower. The Raiders made light work of the West Tigers, piling on 7 tries to 0 in the first half, and going on to win 56 points to 10. Not much more I need to say about the game. I'm just very thankful I won't need to watch a Tigers game again until March next year. This is a cracking elimination final, as looking at it on paper you'd say Melbourne win easy, but when you start looking into Melbourne's injuries and as well as Canberra's insane record Amy Park, having beaten Melbourne 4 times in a row, then you realise that it could really go either way. Personally, I'm tipping Canberra 1-12. I think this game will be won up front, and Canberra's forward pack are red hot, whereas a majority of Melbourne's forwards are looking well past their prime and seem less and less impactful each week. And finally, on Saturday, the 2nd-placed Cronulla Sharks host the 3rd-placed North Queensland Cowboys at PointsBet Stadium, Sydney. The Sharks ended the regular season on a 6-game winning streak. Cronulla did it tough early on against Newcastle, who looked set to spring an upset with the scores locked at 12-all at half-time. However, as Newcastle have done all season long, they faded hard in the second half, which allowed the Sharks to command a comfortable 38 points to 16 win, which secured them a home final this week. The Cowboys beat up an understrength Panthers side to end the regular season on a high. North Queensland outscored the defending premiers 38 points to 8, with Valentine Holmes securing a hat-trick. The Sharks have an outstanding record against the Cowboys, having won 8 straight as well as 12 of the past 14 encounters. I think this is another close game, as I don't think both sides have been convincing in their wins recently, but I have to side with the Sharks 1-12. I think their attack will be too good for the Cowboys' defense, which has started to slip back into its old ways, and given their great record it would be criminal not to tip them. And the final game of the week is a repeat of last Friday's debut at revamped Allianz Stadium between the 6th-placed Sydney Roosters and the 7th-placed South Sydney Rabbitohs, but this time there are no second chances. It was a cracking contest with an even share of possession, however it was South Sydney's handling that let them down. The Roosters' forward pack dominated up front, which wasn't helped by Cam Murray succumbing to a head clash in just the 2nd tackle of the game. The Rabbitohs captain wasn't the only casualty though, as Trent Robinson also lost Joey Manu and JWH to injury. The team lists will be very important this week as Victor Radley, Daniel Tupou and Joseph Suaalii will be eyeing a return for the Roosters, as will Murray, Cook and Graham for the Rabbitohs. Up until last week's game, the Rabbits had won 4 straight against the Roosters. This is honestly a coin flip in my opinion. Both sides have key players injured, but I am going to take the Roosters 1-12 again. I think both sides will field stronger teams this week, but ultimately the Roosters have the more consistent players and processes. Having said that, the Rabbits have the X factor, and I wouldn't be surprised if Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker get far more involved than last week. So in summary, I think the Panthers get their revenge against Parramatta 13+, the Raiders and Sharks continue their winning streaks against their opposition by 1-12 points, and the Roosters go back-to-back against the Rabbitohs 1-12. I will be doing more in-depth breakdowns for every game this week once the teams are named on Tuesday, so keep an eye out of those later in the week. As always, thank you for all the support and don't forget to like and subscribe.